Welcome to the Veterans Bridge Home Lunch Break. We're getting ready. Carolina on the rise. Really looking forward to football season. It feels like it's a long way away, but we are ready. And why are we getting ready for football season this early? Well, because we're going to be joined by the one and only Riley Fields. He's our good friend. He's the Director of Community Relations at the Carolina Panthers. You know, the Panthers have been great partners of ours and have been, just so supportive of our mission. And we wanted to hear what's up with Riley, wanted to know what he's doing and what's going on with the team. How's everybody doing? What's new? So looking forward to having him on. While we wait for Riley to join us, I've got a couple announcements for everybody out there in TV land. It's Giving Tuesday today, and if you love Veterans Bridge Home as much as Veteran Bridge Home loves you, consider making a gift. It's tax deductible up to $300 this year, above the line, which for you tax people know means 100% of your donation will go to. You can take that off your taxes. So you can help yourself by doing good for other people. Make that through our website. It is every dollar makes a difference right now in this time of increased need across the community. What's in it? What's up for you? What can you do? Well, Thursday we've got the VBH Valentine breakfast. It's going to be at 8 o'clock. The location is your house on Zoom. So join us on Thursday at 8. We'll have some coffee, and that'll be led by our great teammate and friend, Michael Kruger. So looking forward to that. What else? This Friday is a happy hour. I don't know if you all have joined us on the happy hours on Friday, but those happen at 5 o'clock on Fridays on Zoom. Grab a frosty beverage and join us. It's always been fun. We have a good group of folks who join us. Last week was a lot of fun. We had, we talked about who would you add to your quarantine, and how many days has it been since you took a shower? So that it's the hard question to do it at the happy hour. I'm bringing Riley in right now. If you got any questions for Riley, we'll try to field some of those too. If you want to make fun of Pete Vacco, looks like he has joined us in the audience. So we're hoping to get Riley to dime out Pete and tell, hey, there he is. How are you, Riley?
Hey, good morning, Steve, or good afternoon, rather.
Yeah, well, it's all kind of blends in, doesn't it? How are you today?
Say that again.
I said, how are you doing today?
A+, yeah. Glad to spend some time.
Yeah, no, thanks for making time for us today. I wanted to jump right into the important things and find out, why did your parents not love you enough and send you to Charlotte Latin? Could they not afford going to Country Day like other upstanding folks?
I think they saw where the true path to greatness was. That was maybe I just wasn't Country Day material.
Yeah, I don't know. You I don't think so. But you grew up in Charlotte. Talk about a little bit about your background.
Yeah, native Charlottean, and kind of grew up. It was funny. I was talking the other day about how frequently I moved when I was young, and like all the time, but always sort of around in the general area. I grew up early years over in East Charlotte, and then sort of middle school years over in South Charlotte, and have just have a real just affection for this town and this region where extended family is located. It's just been interesting, like any native Charlottean, to see the growth. And I tell this story all the time. I remember it was maybe I don't know, I was in 10th or 11th grade. This had to have been early 80s, 80, 81, 82. I'm just not exactly sure. But they built a Bennigan's up in South Park. And I was, we have arrived.
No doubt.
Big time stuff. And it was it was such a big deal that we had a Bennigan's that's where Ric Flair would hang out at the bar and hold court, because there was no other place to go.
Right.
Now these days that Bennigan's doesn't even exist. It was plowed under for other stuff, but just seeing the growth of the city, the region, it's just it's crazy versus where it was it just doesn't seem like that long ago.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was, I guess maybe like late middle school, high school when the Hornets came to town, and Bennigan's in 81, 82 was big. Hornets were huge. And then you started with the Panthers. How long have you been with the Panthers? But that's a light year jump for this community.
Yeah, and I think so. I've been with the Panthers since 2003, and I was fortunate enough that my first season with the team was the year that they played in Super Bowl 38. So that was certainly a special time. But going back to just the terrific support that what it means to this community, this region. When Charlotte got the NBA franchise, and you certainly experienced this growing up. It was Charlotte has always wanted, I think, a seat at the table. Whatever the table is, nationally or whatever.
For sure.
And getting a pro sports franchise, helped. I think was a good housekeeping seal of approval in a lot of ways, and the way that this town supported that team early on, it was unprecedented. I think 8 straight years led the NBA in attendance, and then when the Panthers came along about 8 years later, or 7 or 8 years later, however long it was, just the support, the way that everyone rallied around, that new again being in the NFL, that is, having an NFL team is just that is,
it was big time
level stuff, and I think we all sensed it, and the excitement behind it. And what's been interesting just during my time with the team, I started in year 7 or 8 of the franchise, but it was still such a young franchise. And so you had other people that had maybe other allegiances for teams growing up. I was a Dolphins fan growing up.
Yeah, this was Redskins territory for the longest time for a lot of folks. Yeah.
I had a Redskins Sears zip-up sweater with the patch on it. Anyone who's my vintage knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But seeing the evolution of the kind of the how the fan base and how kids are growing up with the team that didn't used to exist, and
for sure,
just amazing to see. We're starting to experience our younger fans are becoming, mid-20s fans, and they've always known the team. It's such a cool place to be right now, where you've got sort of that historical context of being part of people's lives, for their entire lives. And I think, early on, people were like, well, yeah, I'm going to root for the Panthers, but this is still my team, because they invested years in that. And so it's really cool to kind of be entering into the phase where we are now, where we've been people's team since, their whole lives. And
for sure.
That mature franchises take, I guess, they take for granted because they've always had it. But as a younger franchise, it's really exciting to be entering into that era.
Well, and as somebody who left Charlotte for pretty much 20 years, come in and out, on vacation, coming to see family and things, what I've been struck by as living here full time is how unifying that team is, our team is, for this community. I mean, there were, you were a Duke fan or a Carolina fan or Wake Forest or a State or Clemson or whatever, right? ACC was sort of like the thing, but it didn't unify anybody. I mean, like you would say,
I'm rooting, I guess, for an ACC team over others,
For sure.
but this is the thing, right? Everybody seems to be on board in Charlotte behind this one team.
And yeah, you've hit on something that you're saying it better than I was. The that part of this growth process, us growing together, with the organization, the team, the region, all kind of going through this growth period together, and the collective unity of how game day brings friends together, it brings families together, it brings communities together. It's really phenomenal, and it's a special. It's part of what makes I guess the NFL special, makes the having the Panthers here in town, and just the regional pride around it. It serves as a unifier, and we've heard those stories a lot. Former team president Danny Morrison, I know, used to tell the story. He'd walk around on game days with his Bojangles tee, and he'd tell the story about a lady who he met in the parking lot one day, and she said, it's the one day where my family's kind of all over the place, but it's the one day where we come together, and
Yep.
that's the juice. That is cool stuff, and so it's
Yeah. I mean, I remember the first Sunday that I was here, living here, game day Sunday, and it's like, I'm like, where is everybody? Oh, the Panthers are playing. And like the streets are empty. It's like, stay at home orders. Like there's no traffic on the streets. Everybody's either at the game or at home or in a parking lot someplace tailgating.
So that, yeah, it's exciting, and certainly when the team is performing well on the field, it just it just takes it to the next level. So you really appreciate the seasons that when they're going well.
For sure. So you're the director of community relations. What does that really mean? What does it mean to the community? What do you do day in, day out?
Yeah, so it's really a privilege for us to have the responsibility to be the direct connector between the team and communities, locally and across the two-state region, because we're regional by definition. We're the Carolinas. And so, what we endeavor to do through the community relations department is provide opportunities, experiences, resources, connectivity points between the organization and the broader region. And it manifests itself in a number of different ways, through educational outreach programming, through military support programming, and partnering with terrific organizations like Veterans Bridge Home, to supporting youth and high school football. I mean, there's just there's a number of different ways that we engage the broader community, and really it's to create those touch points and that connectivity to make sure that the region feels connected to the team, and to help the region connect back to the team.
Sure. Well, I know that my kids have enjoyed playing on the Play 60 playground at Freedom Park, and that park was the genesis of an idea where Lowe's and the Panthers and Veterans Bridge Home have come together to create another similar thing. Can you tell us a little bit about that Veterans Park?
We're really excited about. So I'll go back first to talk about the Play 60 park.
Yeah.
Play space that we've got over at Freedom Park. There's also one at Hornets Nest Park, Reedy Creek Park, and there's going to be a new one coming in another spot in the region later this year.
If you've got kids and they like to play, you need to go, like, run, do not walk over to one of those places.
Well, one of the things that I like to tell folks is what's your favorite part of your job. And maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I might have given a different answer, but I think as I've gotten older, you have children, you watch them grow up, and I think really it's it's when there are opportunities to create joy for others.
Yeah.
And that manifests itself in a lot of different ways. And so, when you go over to I'll use the Freedom Park Play 60 play space as an example, just because I think a lot of people consider that the flagship. Just the sound of it, the huffing and the puffing and the laughter, it's moms and dads and kids and younger kids and older kids. It is just it's really been gratifying to see the way that play space serves the community. Yep. And serves families. It's just that's been joyful to me, to see the joy that it creates and the opportunities for shared time together that it creates. And in similar fashion, we're doing something that's kind of I'm going to call it a grown-up version of that.
Very much, yeah.
This year that we were hoping to be able to launch this as part of Military Appreciation Month this month, but our shelter at home guidelines have kind of
sure.
this. But at Veterans Park, which is certainly, as many veterans know, with the shelter that's over there and the kind of the tribute that park has played in recognizing our veterans over the years. It's right next to the 108th. There's just a lot of significance to Veterans Park, and so in partnership with VBH and Lowe's, we're creating what I'm going to call an adult version of kind of the Play 60 course. It's a concept called a fitness court, and it is a dynamic structure that provides a number of different workout elements to challenge folks, and it's gonna be built right there in Veterans Park. Really, as soon as we can get through this shelter at home piece, and really it's done under the guise of kind of salute to service and recognizing our veterans and active duty personnel, but providing an opportunity for veterans to come together in a space to collectively share fun, fellowship, and fitness in a dynamic way. And we're really excited that to partner with VBH, and how VBH will be able to program in this space and offer additional opportunities for the Veterans Bridge family to join in at Veterans Park and go through some fun, fellowship, and fitness. And it'll be a dynamic piece. It's going to be a dynamic structure. It's hard to describe what this thing is. But it's going to be, it's about a 40 by 40 square that has built-in assets that will allow folks to work out in any number of ways, and really no matter what your fitness level is. And it's social, it's dynamic looking, it's going to provide a great amenity for those weekend warriors out there, and really anybody that's looking to enhance their fitness routine.
Yeah, we'll share some pictures again on our social media, because we do have a few renderings of it, so people can check that out. We are also, our office is moving. We're moving out off of West Boulevard towards York Mount, near the Air National Guard headquarters.
Right.
But we're going to, because it's so close to where we currently have our Wednesday workout, we're going to move our Wednesday workouts to that fitness court as soon as it gets completed. So we're going to use it on Wednesday mornings, so people will, once it's built, they can join us there. So
so we're really looking forward to getting that thing done, and it's going to happen this summer, and we know it's going to be just exciting to launch that thing.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I don't have a ton of time, but I have two questions. One quick, and then I think people want to hear a little bit about the team. So, but the first question that
I'm
I want to know,
qualified to talk about the team.
all right. Well, The more important question, the one.
Somebody who actually knows something about football to talk about this.
Well, funny you bring up Pete Vacco, because I wanted to hear a Pete Vacco story. What kind of dirt do you have on Pete? That, I mean, it's just us here, you, me, and maybe Pete's online too. But so, you know, what do we know about what should we know about Pete?
So, you know, if you know Pete Vacco, you know that he's a planner, he's organized, detail oriented, all that. And, you know, I had just one of the greatest professional privileges of my life was being able to work with him for so many years at the Panthers. And we did a lot of really cool things together. And one of the things we built was a annual adult flag football tournament, the Weekend Warrior flag football tournament. And we often described it as sort of an adult flag football version of Woodstock, but maybe without the mud and fire, you know, all that. But it was just it's a big deal, and it still endures today. But it's got a 128 team event, and it's played in the stadium. And then back then, when Pete was there, we had 3 practice fields, so it was the only event where we had access to the full campus in stadium and the 3 practice fields. And each field was broken into 4 smaller fields. So we had a total of 16 game fields for this tournament for adult Weekend Warrior types. And we'd gone through our setup, and everything looks amazing. It's Saturday morning. The tournament is literally getting ready to start in 10 minutes. And we are so proud of ourselves. We are just so pleased with how everything looks. Aren't we great? And then one of our interns said, "Where's the flags?"
No.
Like, what do you mean? And so you got to understand, we're about to start. We're 10 minutes away from this, you know, monster tournament. And you've got the footprint of from the stadium field all the way out to our practice fields and all that. And we're standing out on the traffic circle behind the stadium, and suddenly Pete kind of looked up, and he just had this revelation on his face that we had never gotten the flags out yet. And if you want to see a man in motion, if the combine would have been timing that day, and Pete was an NFL draft prospect, he would have made some serious cash for the speed that he laid down running across the parking lot and disappearing into the bowels of the stadium to find those flags. And amazingly, we got all that stuff out, and we probably started about 5 minutes late, but it was the heroism and the courage, the valor that was to get that tournament going when we brought it on ourselves. We were so satisfied with what we had done. We hadn't paid attention to that detail. And you know, if you know Pete, you know that's that he is Captain Detail. And
for sure, I
have just this visual image of him sprinting. I mean, big man moving, it was just jaw dropping. So that was just one of my favorite memories is the look of the epiphany of what was going on, the look of horror on his face, and then the rapid response time to get it done. So you know, that was that take him to the hospital for hospital visits, and people would think he was Brad Hoover.
That's funny. We need to find some way to get Pete to see if he can replicate his fleetness of foot sometime. Maybe at the Hero Run, we'll see him sprint. Last question, Riley. So the team's moving some of their headquarters over to Rock Hill. How's that going? What can we expect? What do you know? What can you share with us?
Yeah, that's going to be a really exciting development. I think when you talk about giving the team a competitive advantage, or one, to catch up with the NFL and then surpass the NFL in terms of competitive advantage for preparing the football team for success. It is going to be really spectacular in the way that the players can practice, prepare, train, recover. It's really going to be state of the art. So I think it's going to be really exciting for the football team, just in the way that they go about their daily grind. But the development itself is going to be so much more. There's going to be a broader plan for special event space, for commercial space. There's going to be a medical development. There's so much that's going to go into this. It's going to be transformational, really, for Rock Hill, and I would say the region, the broader region. It's just going to be transformational. It's the drawings that were. There's some recent renderings that came out earlier in the week and shared publicly, and I think people are starting to get a sense of how significant the project is, because it is it's really over the top in terms of its scope, and then the thought process that has gone into every detail of the facility and how it will be both preparing the team for success, but also how it's going to serve the broader community. So it's really exciting. We're still several years away from that move happening, sure. But the project is underway, and certainly I think the expectation is during 2022, the team will be able to move into its new practice facility, just down the road, but still calling Bank of America Stadium home for game days. But it's how it's going to provide just a significant step up on how the team prepares, how Coach Rule can prepare the team, how the players will go about their daily business. It's going to be transformational and something that's going to be really exciting for Panthers fans, and something that I think Panthers fans will take great pride in.
No, I mean, it's exciting. I think they are the Carolina Panthers, so I love bringing in our neighbors down in South Carolina. They were already fans anyway, but it gives them probably a little bit more ownership of the team too. Feel like they have something at stake, and I love the idea of it improving the players' ability to get out there and win on the football field. Well, Riley, thanks for joining me today. It's been great. We went pretty long, but I think there was a lot of good information that people will want to hear. So thanks for taking time.
Well, Steve, it's been a pleasure spending time with you, and appreciated the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, of course. Anytime, Riley. I love having you here. Love having the support of you and the entire Carolina Panthers team. I mean, for those of you who don't know, the Panthers have been a longtime supporter of Veterans Bridge Home, both financially, but also with resources and opportunities to co-brand, which it's no small thing with one of the premier brands in the world, Carolina Panthers, and the National Football League. So it does not go unnoticed by us. We really appreciate it.
Well, that's kind to say, but I would be remiss if in similar fashion just did not reference just the terrific work that Veterans Bridge Home does in serving the veterans community in so many different ways. I mean, there are so many in so many different elements in how VBH really helps connect veterans and helps them with transitional success, life success, just all the different things that VBH does to serve veterans. It's a true asset, a real asset that we have in our community. We're lucky to have VBH here.
Thanks. That's kind of you to say that, Riley. As a couple of guys who grew up here, like, this matters to me to take care of our neighbors. I know it does to you, to make sure that the veterans that make this community their home, whether they grew up here or they just chose to make this their home, it matters. And so we're happy to serve those folks. Everybody, appreciate you joining us today. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the VBH Lunch Break with our very own Randy Smith. She's going to talk about community engagement events. And in the meantime, everybody, be safe, be healthy, and be the bridge. Thanks a lot, Riley.